So first off, I want to apologize. I'm getting a little bit of a cold for some reason. I have no idea why. So my nose is all stuffy and whatnot. But I just finished watching Luke Cage, and so since I've been watching all of the Netflix MCU TV shows for like the past, I don't even know how long it's been, a couple weeks. I've started off with Iron Fist, and then I watched Daredevil, and then I saw Jessica Jones, and then Luke Cage. I figured I would review it like I always do, like I review all the other ones. Of course I would. Now, Luke Cage is, about Luke Cage. Luke Cage was in a little bit of Jessica Jones, and I actually really liked him in Jessica Jones. So when I found out that he was actually getting his own show, or when I saw that he had his own show, rather, because the show had already been out at that point, I was like really excited to watch it. So this show starts off in a way where Luke Cage, he doesn't want to fight like at all. He wants to sort of just, be an innocent, person because he is still a convict. You do sort of find that out. And like one of the really, really early episodes of the season, there's like an entire episode devoted to his backstory and what his deal is and how he got the powers. And he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to be a hero. He just wants to be left alone, basically. He wants to be like work at a barber shop with this one dude named Pops, and it's all nice, and it takes place in Harlem, New York, and the other side of Hell's Kitchen, and basically there's this villain played by, I don't know the guy's name, Mahershala Ali, I think is the name of the guy who plays him. He plays a villain named Cottonmouth, and he's like the major um, gangster of Harlem. There's other gangsters around, you got other gangsters around, but he's like the main gangster. And basically, some events happen. I'm not going to spoil what happens. And Luke Cage is forced into having to go up against, Cottonmouth and the big baddies of New York. That's basically the story of this movie. Now I'm going to start off by getting into a couple of the positives that I have with this movie or this show. My bad. One, I love Luke Cage. He's awesome. He's such a nice, just awesome guy. I really like him. Um, you can tell that he's always he never really he always means well, but he's just constantly being forced into these really bad situations when he has nothing to really do about it. Because he is pretty much impenetrable. You can't kill him. Well, you can, but it'd be really hard. So they use a lot of emotional torment in this show, and he's forced into this really bad situation. Sorry, I was picking something off the ground. But he's just a good guy. He's the actor who plays him is really good. He's got a lot of enthusiasm and charisma, and I enjoy Luke Cage. I like his character. I also really like Cottonmouth. I think he's really awesome. He's not some dick that runs around with the baseball bat with barbed wire and bashes people's brains in because he feels like it. No, he actually does the shit he does because, in his own messed up way, he believes that he's making Harlem a better place doing what he's doing. He's not just doing what he's doing because he's a dick, You actually his character has layers too, and I enjoy that. The action is really good in the show too. Whenever Luke Cage is kicking ass, it's just so entertaining to watch. Rosario Dawson is in this show too. She plays the character of Claire Temple, like all the other Marvel shows. She's the same person she is in every other Netflix MCU show. She appears for a couple episodes, and she's the medic basically. She's the one that patches the superhero up, and I think she has the most development in this show that she's had since Daredevil. Probably probably has a lot. She has a lot of development in this season. And if I had to pitch who I think Claire Temple should be with, I think her and Luke Cage are like the perfect match for dating each other. Honestly, I don't think Claire Temple should be the one. I don't think she should date Daredevil. I don't think she should. I don't know. She should be dating Luke Cage. That's who she should be with. I think this is the show that she belongs in, if that makes any sense. Even though she's been in every other, Marvel, Netflix show. I mean, she didn't really feel like she fit that well into Iron Fist. It feels like she was kind of forced in there. Daredevil, yeah. I mean, she kind of fit there. Jessica Jones, they had her in there for like one episode, and she really wasn't in it much. What I'm trying to say is, I think Claire Temple's character fits the best in the world of Luke Cage. So, yeah, I like that. The action's really good. And the only other thing I like, the soundtrack is really good in this show. Oh my god. There's a couple of songs, there's like one or two songs, I'm gonna admit, that were kind of annoying, that kind of got stuck in my head and not really in a good way. But for the most part, this show uses a lot of jazz and like old school modern day hip hop, and it uses a lot of really great music in it, and it just has a great soundtrack overall. It brings a lot of energy to the show. But yeah, that's really all I like about Luke Cage. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna get crucified by Marvel fans for saying this. I was not really a big fan of Luke Cage, and it surprises me because I haven't seen like a single negative review for this show on the internet yet. Like I really haven't. But I mean, I don't know what it was. Like this show, I mean, obviously it has a very distinct style to it, and the style didn't really grab me that much. It was just sort of meh for me. This show unfortunately became one of those shows that I would just tune out while I was watching it, and that's really sad because I've really enjoyed the Marvel Netflix shows. I did not enjoy this show really like at all. I mean, I think Daredevil is better. I think Jessica Jones is better. I even think Iron Fist is better. I don't understand why Iron Fist is getting so much hate right now, but I just wasn't really a huge fan of this show. It was just something about it. I mean, it harkens back to those old school, like, 70s movies, like Shaft and shit like that, with it has like a very Saturday morning cartoon feel to it, and, you know, that's fine if they're gonna do that, but if, it has a Saturday morning cartoon feel to it, and at the same time, it really, like, this show doesn't know if it wants to be like a cheesy, over the top Saturday morning cartoon type superhero show, or it wants to be serious. Like it tries to be over the top and cheesy, but it also is like way too serious at times, and you're just like, I just got so many mixed like emotions from watching this show. Unfortunately, now I will say the last like 4 or 5 episodes of the show are like really solid. They're very good. Episode 11, excuse me, was probably my favorite episode in the entire season. I don't know why. I really freaking loved it. But I can't deny that everything leading up to the those last 4 episodes was pretty boring and forgettable in my opinion. This show, it tells its story in such a bland and generic way, and I didn't really feel for any of the other characters. The guy who plays Juice from Sons of Anarchy is in this show. He plays a character named Shades, and he is so awful in this show. I cannot stand him. Something about his performance was so fucking bad. Like, I just wanted to reach through the screen and just fucking beat the shit out of him every single time I heard him talk. That's how bad he was. I just did not like him. I mean, he gets a little teeny tiny bit better, like an okay in the last couple episodes, but throughout the entire show, he is so fucking bad. I don't know what he was thinking when he was playing this character. He does such a bad job. And then the villain, there's a villain that's brought in the last couple episodes. This villain is fucking terrible too. I'm just gonna say right now. The first time you see this villain, I saw it and I was like, wow, that is fucking sci-fi level bad. That is terrible. There's some very terrible effects in this show. Like, thankfully they don't use it a whole lot, but when the new villain comes in, he has like a suit that he wears at the end of the show, and I saw it and I was just like, this is fucking awful. But yeah, I mean, that's really what I thought about Luke Cage. If I had to rate it, I'd probably give it a I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. It was just mediocre and average for me. but I still want to see what they're gonna do with Luke Cage because I still love Luke Cage's character, and yeah. So I have finally watched all of the Netflix MCU shows, and personally, my favorite would have to be Jessica Jones. I know a lot of people love Daredevil, but I love Jessica Jones. I don't know why. Jessica Jones was my favorite like Marvel Netflix show. But it's up to your own personal preference. I mean, I don't know. Some people like Luke Cage. Some people like Iron Fist. You know, very few people. Again, I don't know why Iron Fist is getting so much hate, but yeah, I have finally watched all the Netflix MCU shows, and I cannot wait for the Defenders, man. I just watched the trailer right now, and I had a complete fucking fangasm watching it because it was just so amazing. But yeah, that's my review of Luke Cage. If you guys enjoyed this, please comment, rate, subscribe. If you didn't enjoy it, uh, give a dislike, comment, let me know, how I could have done this review better. I don't know. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Peace.